Hey Stamp friends, welcome to the Joy Stamp with Rachel. I'm Rachael Coon, and today I'm sharing with you my May Card Class Club kit using the Trusty Tools bundle. This is an amazing masculine set that I was so happy to see carry over from the mini catalog and now to our annual Stampin' Up! Catalog. In this video today, I'll be showing you 4 cards that I designed for my card class club. This is particularly a video for them so they know how to make the cards they made. However, if you did not join my club for the month of May and want to get the PDF for this kit, you can just email me or message me on my Facebook, and I can send that PDF to you for when you send payment for it. So, all right, Trusty Tools, amazing. And I love that this has other stains than just Dad. So I'll show you 4 cards. Let me show them now. And then the tools that we use for them. So we're gonna start with our simplest card first, which will be a thank you with the paintbrushes. Then we have a more of a Father's Day one with a cool toolbox here. And then we have a fun fold with doing both stamping and die cutting. So we stamp those images and die cut them out. And then the last one is all about the dies. So this one has just this stamped image here and for this background piece. And the rest of it have all been these amazing dies and embossing folder that we use to get all this great texture. And I thought this was a great thank you card for someone who's kind of handy in your life. All right, let me show you some of the products that came in your kit or the products that we'll be using for our class today. So there's a whole PDF that has the measurements and inks and everything and the supplies. So if you were like, oh, I don't have this embossing folder, you can go ahead and grab it from there. This is the metal 3D embossing folder that I used on 2 of our cards. It gives great detail and it isn't, it's a little bit more masculine. Usually our embossing folder is a little bit more floral or leafy. So this is a nice one that's just great for texture. And then in your kit, you also get a blending brush, a sponge dauber, some stamping blends, and some dimensionals, of course, because we always are using dimensionals. Be sure to have something to clean your stamps with as we get ready to make these cards. And it has some liquid glue or your adhesive of choice. Let me make sure I have mine handy. Okay. All right, let's go and get started because this is going to be a long video. Grab a snack, push pause as needed. We're going to start with our simplest one first, which is this thank you card with a paintbrush. So in your kit, you'll have the basic white card base, 2 pieces of cardstock that are colored, and then a little piece for the stamping our saying, and the basic white for stamping our paintbrushes. All right, let me get this bone folded because all the cards I gave you the card bases, I have not done that step too. So make sure you grab your bone folder so you can do that as well. Let me grab my foam mat so we can do our stamping first. And we're gonna need to do it on our piece here. Thank you. And our piece here for that paintbrush. Get that all in view. There we go. Okay, for the thank you, I'm actually using the basic gray ink color. I thought that showed up really well on that smoky slate. Let's get that back in view. I'll put this up a little bit. Oh, you also get these cool industrial trinkets. I forgot to show you that. That's part of your kit as well, which is what we use to embellish a little bit. All right, grab our thank you. And we're going to ink that up. Looks pretty good. Come over here and stamp that on the far left side. Press down, lift up, clean stamp. That looks great. And then I'll go ahead and wash that off so it's ready for the next time. I just use a reusable wipe that I've cut down from like a chamois towel that you find in your car washing section of any of your stores you may attend. All right, next we're gonna use Smoky Slate, and I have a brand new one, so I'm excited. This is a fresh one, and it got a little bit inky on the sides. You'll see that I have a little bit of spillage here, so it's gonna be a super juicy Smoky Slate. Let me go ahead and grab, we're gonna just do paintbrushes now all over this, and I do wanna make sure I have my piece of grid sheet underneath it, or piece of paper that we can use. Let me go ahead and put my basic gray away so we don't make bad choices with that. There we go. And we can do some stamping on here. Okay, the problem of a fresh or messy stamps ink pad is that I might get a little inky everywhere that I don't want, so we'll try our best not to do that. Okay, random, literally random. I'm gonna come here, stamp that one. We'll come over here. Usually it's a secret of odds, so however you do, just make sure you've counted it so that you have an odd amount. I'll have it come in at this angle here. One down. Let's do this one going the opposite way, so that's also a good tip. So I have handle, brush, and I'll do one more. Maybe the handle face not this way. There we go. Nice. All right, let's put that smoky slate away. And next we grab our pumpkin pie. That ink there. And the little tip of this paintbrush looks like this little squiggly line here. We're gonna ink that up. We're gonna line it up over our brush. And my trick to you is that look at it and see. Some people think it goes one way, some people think that it goes the other way. I'm gonna line it up like this so that the jig-jags are on that top side or the end of the brush. I'm gonna stamp it and then I'm gonna come down a little bit like that. So it looks like it has a little bit of paint dripping off. And I'll do that to each end of my paintbrush. So I come here. So sometimes I don't get as far down, but it's nice that I do the stamp, the ink, the second stamp on there, and it covers the spot that I don't line up perfectly. Okay, that's looking better there. Our last one down here at the bottom. Awesome. Okay, just that little bit of color I think really makes this card pop. And then the technique we're going to use behind it for our background is such a simple one. Instead of having a matte in one color, we made mattes in two colors. Let me get this close so you can kind of see. There we go, our cute paintbrush look there. All right, let's go ahead and start assembling. We'll grab our pieces. Okay. So it doesn't matter top or bottom where you place your smoky slate and your pumpkin pie, but just line it up where you think it's gonna need to go to create those borders. So you can get yourself an idea. My tip to you is use liquid glue for this step, so that way if you put it down and it doesn't look right the first time, you can move it around. Okay, so I'm gonna use this bottom guy as my guide a little bit, so I know where to place it once I flip. Grab my liquid glue. If you wanted to, you could mark it with a pencil on the corners, so that way you can put exactly where it needs to go. But I'm not I'm not a perfectionist. Fun fact, I am not a perfectionist. What you think in a crafting world you could be, and there are many people who are, that craft and are just amazing at it. But that would take me forever, and I don't have forever. So I'm perfectly fine when things are not perfect. All right, then we just needed to glue on our stamped part. I like to use Stampin' Still Plus by putting a little bit in each corner. Since this is a white-based one, I don't want any glue lines to show through. Hover it over so you have borders on all the sides that we want to create that matte look. Oh my goodness, this is looking so cool. All right, before we put this on, you can optionally grab your paper snips and open it up. So hold on, close paper snips, open paper snips, scissors, take it, and you just rough these edges here. Just kind of separating some of those fibers, making it a little bit rough. You can leave it plain if you want. This adds just a little bit of texture to a very simple card. Okay. Then we can flip that over, grab our dimensionals. At least 2, if not 3. This one's kind of a longer guy. Remove the backings of your dimensionals and flip. Okay. I want this to be just about where those paintbrush handles meet. Kind of cover up that spot there. Awesome. And then let's grab our glue dot with our trinket. So, industrial trinkets. These are awesome. They're part of the Adventurous Sky suite that's in our annual catalog. They do not have adhesive on the back of it though, so you have to have something. Either the liquid glue. Liquid glue works great. It just takes more time to dry. So, keep that in mind. I'm just going to put it to the glue dot, press down, and then be able to lift up and put it on there like that. So cute. Oh my goodness. Super simple, but what a great thank you. And if you want to switch up the color of that background and not have the pumpkin pie, you can make this with any color scheme. You could even have multiple colors behind and divide it up into like 4 strips instead of just the 2, and then have different colors of paintbrushes as well. So this layout is super fun. I hope you guys give it a try. We'll go ahead and move on to our next one, which is more of a Father's Day based card. So we're going to be doing this one, and we're using our blending brush for this one. Very subtle, very simple, but I love what it does for it. So let's put this one right here. And this one I have a lot of prep work done. So in your kit, you'll get everything embossed and die cut, and all you have to do is stamp and assemble. Let's make sure I can find it. There we go. I am using one of those new in colors. This is the Summer Splash, which is so fun that we can actually play with that now. And then here are the pieces that we'll need to attach. Our stamping pieces. Shake those out. Okay, let's do our stamping first. So we need our blueberry bushel, and we're gonna need 3 of our stamped tools for this part. And we're gonna grab blueberry bushel out for the ink. Is the only ink we're gonna use for this one. And grab this guy in here as well. Okay. Let's grab blueberry bushel ink. Oh, and I need my toolbox. I forgot we have Stamp Dad on there too. Okay, let me grab him out. I like to do stamping all at once, so that way it's done and all you have to do is assemble. Put that there for now. Okay. Let's get the Happy Father's Day. Ink that up. Put it onto that Summer Splash. Press down. I love inking color on colored cardstock. I think that's a super fun look. Instead of just using like black all the time, it's way more fun, I feel. All right, let's get the dad in here. Ink this one up. Depending how juicy your ink pad is will determine how dark your dad becomes. Mine is not super juicy, and so it kind of creates this kind of more of a vintage look. So if you like this look and you have a super inky ink pad, do a one-time stamp off, and that will help you create that more of a denim look, I want to call it. Okay. Now let's go ahead and do all the background for our piece here. And we need our measuring tape, our wrench, and our hammer. So the center part will not be seen very much, right? We know that going into this. Let me get my piece of paper underneath it to protect my foam mat. I usually typically say do your largest stamp image first when you're doing background stamping. So we're gonna grab our hammer, we're gonna have him come here at this angle so that some of it's coming off. You don't need the whole thing on there. And then we'll come down here with a second hammer at the bottom. We'll grab our wrench now. He's the second largest of our stamped images. I'm gonna have this one come in here so you can see a pretty good chunk of him. And then we'll have him coming down here. There we go. And our measuring tape. Okay, we'll stick this guy right here between those two. And a little bit of him on the edge. Nice. Okay, grab your blending brush. Either keep it on this piece of paper so you have something behind it, or pick it up. Depends on how you like to blend. I'm going to blending brush, ink, tap off, and just go around my edges here. Sorry if my table's shaking with us, but that's okay. We know we're moving here. We're just creating a fun coloring look. It's the same color on the same color. You could always switch it up and make like a darker color on cardstock if you wanted. But I just really love these edges darkened and keeping that center a little bit lighter and creating more of a vintage look here. Okay. Always start little, add more as needed. And this is very subtle, and you mostly can tell that I did it because I'll have that giant spot there. But when I bring it up to the camera, you just see a little bit of darkening, right? It's not huge. If you want to, you can go a little bit more by lifting it off the paper, and it creates a little bit of a darker line there. I like mine pretty blended, a little bit softer, but just, wow, just a great look there. If you wanted to take a step further, take your ink and then just blend in the tool. So it goes specifically to the tool. Looks like you're coloring it in. There we go. So fun. Okay, that should be it for this one. We just need to do some assembling now. Put our inks away, our foam mat, and let's grab our card base. That's Summer Splash. Grab your bone folder, liquid glue this guy on, put it to the back. We're going to do a flip. This measurement creates a little bit of a wider border, which I like, so we see more of that fun new in color as our card base. Grab your basic white, put some liquid glue on the back of it. Choose which side you want. If you like it to be the inside of the embossing look or the outside, it's up to you. The emboss or deboss, I guess. Go about center. It's going to go all the way over from one side to the next of your card though. It's that full 4 1/4. Nice, looking good so far. We need to add our handle to the back of this guy. You can use either your tear tape, your liquid glue, some glue dots, whatever you have time for. I think I'm going to do a little bit of my Stampin' Still Plus. Just do a strip on there so I have no dry time. And stick it on. Nice. Then we're going to grab some dimensionals on the back of our dad. Put a handful, flip this over. We're going to dimensional on him as well. So I'm at the tail end of these dimensionals, so I'm going to cut a strip off for this part here. And this works perfectly because it's a little bit more narrow. Okay, attach our toolbox first. Flip it and look to see. I want it to be a little bit above our basic white here and showing it off on the ends though. So creating some fun layers here. Remove the backing of our Happy Father's Day. Have that go below. I'm gonna have it scoot over just a little bit so it's not lined up right underneath the toolbox there, a little offset. And then let's grab our wrench. Grab your glue dot or some liquid glue. You could totally get away if you put liquid glue only in the center of this guy. Don't do them on the other sides, and then just have to let them dry. And if you wanted to, you could use your sponge dauber, and we could have sponged on the ends of here with some more of that dark basic gray, the basic gray. Okay, lastly, we just need to do our embellishment with our glue dot. We'll grab this guy, place him down, hold up. I don't know if you guys can hear, I have construction actually going on outside my house right now. So if you hear lots of loud trucks and noises, I apologize. It's all part of the ambiance of the Trusty tools, right? Trusty tools are being used as we speak. Awesome, great, great card. I love that it's a brighter color. It's a little bit, it's masculine. If you didn't want the dad, you can switch that out and use the same. You're the most awesome. So keep it. Make it however you want, but that's a great Father's Day card as well. All right, let's set that aside and go on to our next card. We are going to do our dyed card the most. Our one that uses all the dyes, which is amazing, but oh my goodness, so much love went into this card. So let's get that one ready and show you how to do it. Just a little bit of stamping, but a lot of dyes. I did all the hard work for you guys on this one. Between cutting things out and die cutting, in your kit you'll have a little baggie that has all your dyed images there. Dyed tools. We have Smoky Slate as our base. We're using another in color, which is called the Shy Shamrock. That's been embossed by that amazing metal 3D embossing folder. I have a bonus one, so we'll set that one aside. And then it'll have a piece of Smoky Slate and pumpkin pie. And that, the basic black will be for our mat there. Okay. So the hard part's over. So all you have to do is a little bit of stamping. Let me grab my foam mat back in. Let's grab our thank you. We're going to think that thank you. We're going to stamp the thank you again in that basic gray. That's our ink for this one. And then we're going to stamp some pumpkin pie here in just a second as well. Grab your thank you, ink it up. Again, we want it to go that far left side. Do practice if you haven't stamped this one lately. But you could always flip this over if you don't stamp your best on that first try. Flip it over. Okay, then we're gonna grab our pumpkin pie, put this one away. We're doing color on color, so pumpkin pie with pumpkin pie. Makes it easy, and it creates a great background. My pumpkin pie. And there's a cluster of screws and bolts. They're all together. Just tiny little piece here. We're going to use that and just go crazy with our background here. Ink and turn, stamp, ink, turn, stamp. Have them as close as you want, as far away as you want. Some of it will be covered up, so mostly focus on the things on the edge here. Come all the way down. Oh, and don't be afraid when you see it and it looks a lot darker. These inked images, they have a little bit of dry time. So I'm looking at this pumpkin on pumpkin. I'm like, wow, that looks really dark. Don't worry, it's not as dark as it looks. It will dry. Okay, let's put this pumpkin pie away and we can do some assembling. I will need either my Smoky Slate or my dark basic gray. I'm gonna grab my Smoky Slate out here for just a minute because that's what we'll use for our next ink. Let's grab all the little baggie of fun. We can start assembling that. Let me, oh, there we go. Okay. So for this one, we have a pegboard with basic white. Put a little glue spots on here. Basically getting your outline for it around the edges. Avoid the holes. We'll flip this guy over and add it to our mat. Basic black to create a fun little pegboard. This die will make a mess. Be prepared for that. That definitely have a lot of little holes and confetti-like sizes in my craft room right now. Okay, then we'll get our pieces out here and you'll notice a couple things. Okay, let's build our drill first. So set this aside. Here's our cute drill. And my drill has 3 different colors on it. So what we did is I went ahead and I just die cut a tiny bit of that bottom. You'll see it still attached here. So you just take your paper snips and remove it from that piece. There we go. Flip that over. I like to add the glue to the bigger item. I think it's easier to work with, so glue on the 2 spots I'm going to attach things to. The bottom of our drill. This drill's a pretty fancy one, right? Usually you see them only in 2 colors. Not this guy, he is so fancy. So in the stamp set, I'm using every single stamp in our video today except for the color in part of our measuring tape. And then I use a lot of the dies. Let me show you. The dies here are just amazing. And I didn't even use all of them. There's just so many. Let me see. The Trusty tool dies, usually it says, I don't even know how many there are. There's just so much for your money with this kit here. And it can be played with so many different things, which I love. I even did a very girly card for my team using more of a pink colors. If I remember, I'll grab that and show you guys, or I'll have a link for it too. Okay, so for our tools assembling, you are going to need to have a colored piece and a smoky slate piece. So what we're going to do is going to put glue on the colored piece of your cardstock and add the top of the hammer, just like so. Liquid glue is your friend. And this on here for our wrench. And the hardest tool I would say are probably these pliers right here. Oh, and we forgot the drill part for this. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of liquid glue here. And then we'll place it there and then let it dry. We might even stick a heavy thing over it to give it some more extra love. We'll put a clear block on it for a minute. Give it some added pressure. Make sure you guys can see everything still. Awesome. Okay. The last one is this really cool little pliers here. And we have it in that smoky slate and the pumpkin pie. So play with these ones and see how you want your pliers to look. I like them to have the little, it's like legs, the feet going outward. They look like they're bowed. And then for this piece, it doesn't matter which one goes on top. It honestly doesn't. So if you want the hole on top for that one, give that extra detail. That's a fun idea too. Let me take my paper snips. Punch out that hole. And then we're gonna glue these ones together. A little bit of liquid glue. There we go. And then we'll put a little bit of liquid glue on the bottom of our pliers here. I'm telling you, this is the tiniest one, so this is going to be the hardest tool for you to make. And my sticky hands are getting stuck to it, so that makes it even that much harder. There we go. Nice. Okay, I mean, not touch the glue spots. And depending on how open you want your pliers to be, will determine how close these ones are. So I might actually use a glue dot. Let's see if that one will stick though. I'm gonna use a glue dot for this one because my liquid glue went right through that hole. Okay. Here's my glue dot. We'll put that one right there. And now we can attach. That'll give me a better idea. I want them to be a little bit open. I don't want them to be completely closed. Cute. Nice. Now we can start adding them to our pegboard. Again, the largest tool for, oh, I lied. We cannot add them to our pegboard first yet. We need to grab our awesome sponge dauber and our awesome smoky slate. And we're gonna ink it up and just color the tips of our tools here. So using it, you can put it in your finger, you can hold it in your hand, it's up to you. I'm gonna dab it a little bit here, pick up my tool, and go around the edges. This one is a very fresh smoky slate, so it's a little bit darker than usual. So it's up to you how clean or dirty you want your tools to look. We don't want them to be brand new because that looks like we don't know how to make things. So get them nice and inked up to create a little bit more of a functional tool versus a pretty tool. Here's our pliers, getting our tips of that one. So fun. And then of course our drill. And I'm just doing it on the smoky slate. If you wanted to, you could totally do it over the colored cardstock as well. That smoky slate is great for that. Adds just some extra coloring. Oh my goodness, love it. Let me close that ink and I'll show you how those turned out. Look at this one. Oh my goodness, how fun is that? Just in that extra texture, right? Okay, so we need our 3 tools first, which is our hammer, our wrench, and our pliers. Flip them over, add some liquid glue. This one you could do in dots if you want. We don't want this to go too glue crazy. So we'll take that, flip it over. This one we want to have it go high in the top of the center. Press down. Grab our wrench. He's going to have some glue on the back of it. Flip it. Have them go just below our hammer here. Pliers. Some liquid glue. And we'll have that go on our cute little pegboard here. The drill will not be on our pegboard. We'll have the drill will be kind of over in the front in just a second. So let's go ahead and get our card base back in and start assembling. We have our liquid glue to the back of our embossed Shy Shamrock. Again, I'm loving this color. It pairs really well with our other Stampin' Up! Colors. There's 5 new ink colors. I'm only using 2 of them for our kit today. But you can kind of see how they just work well together. Okay, next, after our Shy Shamrock, we need to do our pumpkin pie. I go over here, give it about a 1/2 inch of space. You don't want it to be right up against it, and then press down. This also will be liquid glued down. Our pegboard. Put that here so it's covering up a little bit of that pumpkin pie, but it's not quite centered. Kind of gives you a space. Look, I have a finger space on this side, finger space on this one. So we say in kindergarten all the time, a finger space is what you need in order for you to get stuff done there. Let me double check. This one, yes, I did. Okay, we're gonna do a sneaky trick. We're only putting dimensionals on the ends of this one here. I was looking at that thinking, wait a minute, I don't think, because we have so much layers on this one, we don't need a whole lot of like popping up from this card. He's gonna be thick. But we do want it to be able to lay nicely when we're placing our little greeting on here. Okay. So this is going to go the whole length of the card front. And I like it to go, it's okay if you have some of the ends showing if you want. About there. I want make sure you have some of the pegboard. I had at least a little bit, like 1 row of pegboard showing through on mine. It's up to you how much pegboard you want to show. We have our thank you. And then we just need to attach our cute little drill here. So center glue only, nothing on the bottom or the tip. We actually might put a dimensional there on this bottom. Just so that way he lays nicely as well. Okay. Flip them over. Hover first to know where you want to place them. So I don't want to cover completely my pliers, but I want to make sure this is staying on. And just kind of crossing over those tools there. Super cute. Lastly, we're going to do an embellishment with that industrial trinket with our glue dot. And we have one last card after this, which will be a fun fold. And just has lots of layers there too. Okay, glue dot, industrial trinket, press down, lift up, and stick it. Cute, cute. That one turned out way fun. I just love all of the layers and textures and colors on this card. I hope you guys do too. That's one of my favorites. Lots of love in that one. So whoever you send that to, you really, really have to like that person. All right, our last one for the video today is this fun fold. It comes so that it opens up like this, kind of like a eye shape, and then you can always stamp something in the inside as well. The secret is if you want to stamp on the inside, you want to keep it so it's hidden until they open it up. So make sure you stamp there in the center. I'm doing You're the Most Awesome here on the bottom, and let's grab these pieces out. So not only can you stamp these images, there's a color in, and then you can use your stamping blends as well. So let's grab our foam mat and do all of our stamping right now for all these pieces. We are first going to stamp our background pieces on the Granny Apple Green. So grab those two pieces out, and then I'll show you how to do the tools. And then from the magic of video, we will not die cut them. I already have some already made and die cut out, but you would die cut these or you could fussy cut them out. Okay, for these tools, what we'll be needing are the pencil. It looks like I have the screws. Make sure they're all clean and ready to go though. I didn't use a hammer, so I have the measuring tape. Get that one ready to go. Pencil, screws. So those are the three. And I'm just, oh, here we go. I have a couple of these ones look a little bit dirty, so let's go ahead and wipe them down. Make sure they're nice and clean. Dry them off. Put this guy here for a second. Pencil's good, and our screws are good. Okay. Now we'll do some random stamping on our pieces here. So I like to have, again, the largest item goes first. So I'm gonna have my pencil just going straight across the middle, and I'll stamp that one just once, facing it so one's going up and one's going down. Okay, clean that off. We'll use that in a second. And then I have our measuring tape. So that one will ink up. And I'm gonna have one going on the bottom here, but not fully on the paper. So you just see kind of half. Flipping it upside down and at an angle this way. Cute. This one's also upside down, angled, just pieces of it, not the whole thing. Nice. Lastly, we'll do our screws or bolts and screws. And we'll ink that one up. And we'll have them go on the top here. Nice, and the bottom over here. Again, just turning so that way they have a little bit of different looks to them. My top and the bottom, you'll notice, are very similar to each other as far as my layout goes. That makes it easy for me. It's random, but it's not completely random. All right, let's go ahead and set that aside and get You're the Most Awesome out and my basic white for this one. In your kits, you'll see a piece of basic white that will match the blueberry bushel mat. So make sure you find that right piece that you need. So like this one is for us to stamp on, not to actually use for our mat. So check them out, line them up. And this guy says, oh, look, he's a friend. They will fit there. We're going to grab our blueberry bushel, and we are going to stamp You're the Most Awesome on our basic white. I'm leaving that Granny Apple Green, which I usually don't do because I know I'll set something in it, but we're going to use it just so that way we're going to stamp it in that color just in a minute. You're the Most Awesome here on the bottom. Make sure it looks good. Do a practice. I've been stamping for 10 years or more, and I still get nervous that sometimes it won't look as good as I hope. So but I'm always happy when it turns out nice. Okay, so that one's ready. I'm gonna set this with its friend so we don't lose him over here. And now we're gonna grab a piece of basic white and we're gonna stamp the tools that we'll be using. in Memento ink. Let me get this ink here. And we're going to do the paintbrush, the wrench, and hammer and pencil. So 4 tools. Ink that up. We have our wrench. Let's grab the paintbrush maybe next. Make sure it's clean. Let's see. Yeah, that one was used, so we gotta wipe this one down. Sometimes I'm good about cleaning right after I stamp, and sometimes I'm not. I don't clean until I put everything away. Okay. We'll stamp this guy here. And then if you're die cutting, you want to make sure that you give yourself enough space to have your pieces of paper there. All right, let me grab another one of these guys. And we can do our pencil, which we just used as a background, so it shouldn't be too far. There we go. Ink that one up. Press down, lift up, nice. And then our last tool is the hammer. Grab that one and that Memento. And we'll stamp him right here next to our pencil. Okay. Now the fun part is the color in for these tools, where you don't have to use markers, you use just actual ink. So we're gonna use 4 colors of ink. I have the Granny Apple Green, Blueberry Bushel, Pumpkin Pie, and the, this guy, Shaded Spruce. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna grab my hammer. He's a Shaded Spruce. There's 2 color in handles. And the way to tell which one's which is by taking it off and lining it up. I think the smaller one is actually the hammer. So what I like to do is I'm gonna take it like this, and I'm gonna face it down, and I'm gonna put it and then take my block to pick it up. And you're asking, why would I do that? I want my alignment for this one. Since it's photopolymer, I could have had that stamped hammer way different. Okay, nice, color that in. And we'll put that color away, and we'll grab our paintbrush one, which is the Granny Apple Green. Ink that one up. This one I find is a little bit harder to line up because it has that hole, but that hole gets die cut out. So if you're fearful of it not looking right, don't worry. We'll press down. Nice. And then we have our wrench, which was that second handle. Again, using that tip, line it up on here. Grab the block to pick it back up with, ink it up, and then hover over to line it up. Nice. And our last one is the pencil. This one definitely needs that help of alignment. So it has a circle on the bottom and more of a jagged top. See how flimsy it is? Like, it could totally go wrong and not color it in at all if I don't do this extra little step. So we'll get that one, pick it up, ink it with our pumpkin pie, line it up here on the bottom and the top, press, and that looks great. Okay. Let's put all these inks away, and we're going to do some coloring now on our tools with your stamping blends, which came in your kit this month, which is so fun. I love having blends in kits because they are items that have to be replaced because they will eventually will no longer work, right? It's a marker, so it doesn't last forever. So I love having something that you can use over and over again with other projects. All right, this is the dark smoky slate. I'm going to use this one just a little bit in the center of our paintbrush here. You can go all the way to the tip of it if you want. I'm going to just do a little bit there. And then I'm going to grab my smoky slate light for the rest of it. Okay. And you can use whatever side you want. I'm using the nub side right now, so I can just do kind of a scribble color. And then go back over on the top of it. I like the nub for this wrench here because it's just the tiny little pieces there. And color that in. Another item you could do if you don't want to be a big color, you could have stamped this onto colored cardstock. And that would make it easy, like a gray, a smoky slate for this one, and then colored over it that way. Okay, looking nice. This one, I'm going to switch it over to my paintbrush side. It's a little bit bigger, so we need a little bit more space coverage here. And just color over. If you want more darker spots, grab that dark out and you can color in for extra details, or let it dry for a hot minute, like 10 seconds, and then go back over the ends that you want to be darker, just like that. Okay, that's the coloring part of this one. Super fun, right? We stamped in the color, and then we also did some Stampin' Blends coloring. If you wanted to skip the coloring with the stamping, you could just use your Stampin' Blends if you have those colors instead of inking them. But because of the magic of film, we should already have these die cut and ready for us to assemble. Let's see if make sure they got it into our oh, here they are. 1 second. We are ready to assemble this guy. And of all of his pieces, and there are our die cut of these. Our tools are ready to go. Okay, so lots of pieces to this fun fold, but it's not too hard as you think. So we're going to use our bone folder, and we're going to glue on our mats first. So you'll see that there's a shaded spruce mat here. We have our blueberry bushel one here. Grab some adhesive, flip it over, stick it on. I'm going to do my tools at the very end, so we'll do our mats first. Grab our Granny Apple Green mats. Flip them over, liquid glue the back. Liquid glue is almost gone. Let's see if I can find my other one. I always have two ready though. Fun fact, I always have two of them upside down because you never know when you'll run out. Well, you can kind of see through them, so you can kind of tell, but I'd rather be prepared than not. So we'll grab our blueberry bushel mat with our Granny Apple Green. Carefully place that on there. So you can, there's only like a 1/8 of an inch for that mat size, so it's not a huge wiggle room. Attach this one. I usually start at the bottom and then wiggle my way to the top. There we go. Okay, let's put this onto our card base now. Flip this one over. Nice. Oopsie, I wiggled a little bit. There we go. Oh, this one's almost gone. All right, let's see if the other one's ready. There we go. Flip this one over. I'm having that pencil go down this time, so you can see it's the opposite of that top piece that we stamped. Take it so we can hold it. Looks pretty good. Open this up. Let's put in this basic white. Stamp it if you want right before you put it in though, just in case you need to flip it before you attach it. But we'll just have mine blank for right now. Okay. We'll place this one here, and we're going to put dimensionals only on the top and bottom of the back of our blueberry bushel. Let me grab my dimensionals, which are always running away. Oh, and these ones are almost gone. Okay. Paper snips. Grab this guy here for this top, this one for this bottom. I would put at least 2 in each corner or a long strip like this. So nothing in the middle. Nothing in the middle. Okay. line this up so that the bottom piece here is squared away with the bottom part of your card base. Hold that still. Now I'm holding both my top and my bottom closed, and I'm going to carefully, oops, I'm shaking that one. If you're not secure like me, grab something to help weigh it down. And I'm going to go just about center by looking at my sides here. I have even whites, and press down. And there we go. Now they're attached. And we have this fun fold. And we just need to add our tools. And there's no rhyme or reason for these tools. So I just kind of have them thrown on. But I start with the hammer first for mine. A little bit of liquid glue. Flip it and stick it. So there's that guy. Play with it first so that you kind of have a better feel of where you want it to go. I hate for you to glue it down and be like, oh, I actually don't like it that way. So play with them a little bit. I'm having these ones cross over. Paintbrush next. Have them going kind of a triangle angled piece here. And lastly, our cute little pencil. And then we'll do some embellishing. Okay. Oh my goodness, just kind of thrown on there. This would be really cute if we just used pencils and it was a teacher card. Some of you, your school is almost over if you have students in school, or if you're a teacher and you're almost done for the summer. Super exciting. I'm really bummed. I'm on medical leave right now from work, and I work in an elementary school, and so I had my appendix move last week, so I'm not supposed to be moving around as much. Okay, that glue dot to our embellishment, and there you go. So we have about 3 more weeks worth of school, but I'm hanging out at home until I get better. All right, there it is. You're the most awesome. And then of course we have our thank you ones right there with those amazing tools. Father's Day card idea with a toolbox. And something simple for anyone, the thank you with those paintbrushes. I hope you guys have learned something new with this one. Let me see if I can't find my girly card real quick for you. Let's see. Oh, it might be too far away. And I've written in all of them. Let's see. If I reach over, there we go. Okay. So these ones I made for my team members, which use just pinks and some of the smoky slate. You see me, a lot of die cutting, a lot of love in this one. Whew. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you watched this whole thing. Like I said, I hope you had a snack or a drink. And let me know if you have any questions, if you are a club card member, and if you are not, if you want information so you can join for next month's card class. All right, you guys have a great day. Happy stamping, everyone. Goodbye.